Hey guys, how you going? So I haven't been posting a video in a while about Kingdom Hearts Union Cross just because, I don't know, I've still been felt a little bit rubbed the wrong way from the sort of VIP only banner thing. I can understand why they're doing it. I can understand that as a business, their player numbers aren't increasing and that doesn't bode well. New players are coming in, but they really on the whole aren't staying, and we're just sort of hemorrhaging the players that we've had. So they've gone, okay, combine that with the fact that like loot box laws are becoming well, I'd say 2019 being the year where loot box laws get very strict. I can see them trying to take preemptive steps against that and not lose any more ground like they already have in Belgium. And they're really trying to double down on the players that are already in the game right now. Let's get them to start spending if they're not spending already. If they're spending already, let's get them to spend much more regular, basically. So I think it's clever. I just don't particularly appreciate it as a free-to-play player, but I can understand it. Anyway, what I wanted to say basically is that as a content creator, I'm looking forward to making some videos without using this Kairi up there. So let's give Dragon Maleficent a try basically. This is the setup I ended up using. So as you can see, I'll go through it more as we play through the actual event, but I decided, given that I can't get my buffs to plus and minus 15 super easily, like with, you know, double cast Kairi or Kairi and Copycat Medal, why not try and focus on just one attribute? So in this case I picked Reverse. I was like, okay, let's go with Reverse and then keep it really simple. So we've got no speed medals at all. This speed medal right here, this upright speed medal, even better, is being used as a reverse power. So if I can get reverse and power buffs out, I don't have to worry about buffing anything else. Same with Naminé right here. Naminé is of course upright magic, but it's being used to copy this reverse power medal right here. So in effect, I don't have to worry about upright buffs whatsoever. All I have to worry about is using this overwrite right here at the start. Very important. It's going to give me my base. No matter how much that Dragon Maleficent debuffs me, I know that I'm always going to be back at the set place at the beginning of each turn, so that's fantastic. And then from there, general strength is getting increased, reverse-based strength is getting increased, magic-based strength is getting increased. Magic-based strength is only really relevant to him, but he hits like a truck anyway, so I definitely want him to be nice and buffed up. And then I got to worry about general defense going down, which in my case Sephiroth takes care of really nicely. And then just reverse power, and which these medals basically take care of themselves. So without further ado, let's give it a go. It's definitely a difficult challenge because if you want to get the full rewards for it, you have to do it in 2 turns. And given that it retaliates at half its HP, you need to have taken out over half its HP by the end of the first turn. So 200,000 bars of HP, we have to take out 100,000 bars right now, so let's give it a go. Lux Sword is a medal I don't think anyone should have slept on, but I think a lot of people did. Look at this thing go. That was a critical hit. It crits 50% of the time, and I think it crit both times right then, so that was really outstandingly good damage. Okay, so let's look at where we are already. We've done 3 casts. We're at plus 15 magic already, plus 15 general strength, plus 15 power. Look at the enemy right there. So it's on one more tick, and negative 14 general defense, negative 14 power, negative 7 speed, we don't care, negative 7 magic. We kind of care about the magic, but only Lux Sword is relevant to it. Everything else, the general defense, the power-based defense, and the reverse-based defense, that's what we need for the rest of the blade. So we're already at max buffs relevant to the medals we brought with us. I'm not saying obviously you guys will have radically different setups to me, like you may have pulled KH 19 instead if you got lucky, you may have pulled the Supernova Riku, or you may have pulled Marluxia Plus. Whatever your really strongest medals are, try and work with those. So in my case, Sephiroth is obviously a really strong medal in my setup. Lux Sword is potentially the strongest medal in the entire game if it crits, and it crits 50% of the time. And we're in a situation where we can basically just keep running this over and over again until it crits, so I'm more than happy to have that with me. Lexaeus Plus, it's got ground and extra attack. It's a fantastic, very powerful medal, so I'm trying to make this stuff work for me. I ended up turning this Fairy Stars, like I said, into a complete reverse blade, and it's working pretty well for me. Again, for the I'm not fully buffed out across the board, but for the buffs I need, I've got them all, plus or minus 15, so what else do you need it for? Now, Maleficent's a really great enemy to demonstrate the new buff cap, because basically she's going to debuff us all of our stats right now by negative 30. Even if we had the Kairi with extra attack, for example, if we did Kairi extra attack, we would still be climbing out of this, basically this pit, if you will, that it's going to left us in right here. So we're at negative 15 across the board, negative 14 for the other things because I think they're pet, but I think Maleficent dragged us down to negative 30 across the board, and we were effectively at 16, so it's brought us down to negative 14. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Overwrite medals are certainly not dead. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. This has brought us back up to plus or minus 8, so in effect that buffed us up like 20 something stages right then. It was a huge buff it just gave us right then. Overwrite medals still have their time and their place, you just have to be very, very, very careful when they're using them. So, the Foretellers, the Stained Glass, Kairi, and Shion Plus still definitely have a place in your setups. Especially if like a lot of enemies are going to be going and debuffing us with, you know, huge debuffs like that. Definitely don't let anyone tell you those medals are dead. So anyway, back again. We've already done over half the damage in the last turn, so theoretically if we keep getting the same sort of crits on Luxord here, then should be fine. But yep, there we go. Big bloody damage. Okay, that actually didn't crit the last turn there because it hit like a friggin' truck when it did. I'm really excited to test out the Larxene event. I'm just got my fingers crossed that it's not going to be too brutal, but I'm keen to try it. I'm definitely keen to try it and just sort of see how we go, but I don't know. I'm a little bit disappointed that this is the way they've decided to go. I would have much rather, there's plenty of things I would have much rather in this game, but I don't know. Oh boy. Anyway, so we'll see for Larxene tonight. Like I said, Larxene drops in about, I believe, 8-ish hours as of the time of recording this video. So about 24 more hours till we get it in global from the time of recording. I'm keen to give it a try. I'm not, you know, certainly not giving up on making guides just yet because I don't have Kairi. Quite the opposite, in fact. I'm looking, you know, very excited and looking forward to making him. Do I think you guys should go ahead and pull for it? I mean, given I'm a few days late, you've probably already done your pulls and decided, you know, yes, no, or otherwise. There's no harm in waiting, right? We're going to get the Larxene banner tomorrow. It could be radically different. It could be exactly the same. I guess we'll find out. Just want to collect my presents with you guys right here because it's been a while since I've, you know, you guys seen my dual account, so I don't want you thinking I'm bloody a VIP purchaser all of a sudden. Kairi has not broken me yet, but anyway, I'm going to collect all of those for the last few weeks. And again, I'm not opposed to anyone going ahead and pulling for Kairi. Like, you make your own decisions in this game. If you think it's worth the risk, going ahead and pulling for her, like, the rates aren't obviously that awful. They're not terrible, but it's just a shame that it's double on the other premium banner there. Like, really, like a Mercy wasn't enough. They have to be double the rates as well. It's just, I don't know. Again, do whatever you want. Stuff it. You know what? I'm not against pulling on this banner. I'll do one right now, just on stream, camera. But just be careful. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's probably smarter to wait out for a Mercy. Like, hopefully if this banner comes back, it brings it back in some sort of, I don't know, maybe like a 5-pull Mercy for VIP and a 10-pull Mercy for regular players. Like, who knows? But I'm expecting to get too much decent out of this. But, oh boy. Yeah, that was rough. Yikes. Yeah, definitely don't go ahead and throw away all your jewels in this banner. I have to admit, it was pretty clever the way they did the new VIP banner. It was like, okay, here's 10,000 free jewels. If you want to, that's a third of the way towards the Mercy. Now, you don't have to, of course. But if you do decide to buy VIP, that's another 4,500 jewels. That would make you halfway towards the Mercy. That would mean you only needed to have originally 15,000 jewels if you wanted to go ahead and, you know, Mercy the brand new Kairi. Double the odds of getting it. That's a pretty good deal. And so you go, okay, yeah, okay, that's a pretty good deal. But if you didn't have 15,000, or if you did it once this week, and you wanted to then do that again, like once you were used to getting that VIP Mercy, well, now you need to come up with 25,000 jewels next week, right? If you went from 30,000 down to 0 last week. And that's costing you a fair bit. I mean, oopsie, wrong button. I mean, if you want to buy 25,000 jewels to get access to this banner, what is that going to cost you? It's going to cost you 2 lots of this. It's only nearly 300 Australian dollars. Or the best part of it, at least. Like, I just bought a Switch for 329. Like, my god. My god. All I'm trying to say is, guys, like, you definitely don't have to pull off every single banner, obviously, but man, man alive. This game really knows how to drag it out of you. I mean, of course, everyone has a different tolerance for what they consider acceptable. Mine, I think, is like pretty far at the other end of paying for JPEGs is pretty unacceptable. Now, I accept that I'm not in the average there. I'm very much towards the other end of this is unacceptable to me. So I can completely understand that for, you know, people much more towards the center might consider, you know, VIP here and there, definitely not so bad, but just the idea that I could spend $150 in this game right here and not even get 5 pulls out of it, which I could go through like that. I could just burn 5 pulls in 3 seconds. It's wild. It's completely ludicrous to me. I mean, Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be 70 bucks, you know? I plan on spending probably 40, 60, 80, 100 hours in that game. And I could spend I could spend 70 bucks on that, or I could spend, what's 70 bucks going to get me in this? 70 bucks would get me it would get me 2 pulls in this right here, which would satisfy me, you know, give me entertainment for maybe 45 seconds, which is That's wild to me. That's completely wild. And like, for me, that's unacceptable. There's no way in hell I would ever be spending any amount of money in this game. Because it just doesn't, the math doesn't make sense to me. But again, my tolerance to that sort of thing is, again, if there's a spectrum of acceptable to unacceptable, I'm very, very, very far towards this end. And again, a much more central opinion is, so what makes the world go round, right? Like, people have to spend money on this kind of stuff to keep it supported. But I'm not opposed to spending money in this game whatsoever. It's just, I just don't consider that worth it, you know what I mean? But again, everyone's going to be different. Especially when you consider that, I mean, let's look at the depreciation of these medals, right? And obviously, a lot of gacha games will have depreciation over time, but Union Cross seems to be just wild with it. I mean, you could have spent... Okay, let's go from the start then. 30,000 jewels on our good friend, the very first illustrated Kairi. 30,000, which is what did we just look at? Nearly 300 Australian dollars if you wanted to try and Mercy that from scratch. Garbage right now. 15k on this thing right now. Now, when it came out, 15k was a great deal for it, and I'm glad I saved up for it. I'm glad I didn't have to actually open my wallet to get it, but garbage right now. 0.2 Kairi, literally garbage, and it's an in-game value of 1,500 jewels right now. Not 15,000 that it used to be. These still have a little bit of use for sure, but they were merciless when they first came out. I watched people spend tons of jewels and tons of real money trying to pull for them and didn't end up getting them. These still obviously only less than 6 months old. Definitely took a big hit when Kairi came out, but I just demonstrated I'm still using Shion right now, so definitely still has some worth to it. But considering, you know, the foretellers are roughly on par with that, and I did a pull on a YOLO account I have sitting there as a backup that I do testing on, and got 3 foretellers in one pull, they're certainly not the, you know, 15,000 jewel, 30,000 jewel powerhouses that they were only a couple months ago. It's like, I don't really know why I'm going on this rant right now, but all I'm trying to say is just be careful with how much you're spending on this game, because as much as I would like to see it survive and thrive, I would love for it to be something that I was proud to spend money on, if that makes sense. Like, I'm more than happy to go out and buy a new game. I'm typically pretty patient. I'll usually wait till they come down in price a little bit, just on principle, but this game, man, I think this game's reputation is just going to be... I don't know. I want it to be good. I really, really, really want it to be good, but a lot of people said when it very first launched, it's just a Kingdom Hearts skinned cash grab, and I've had fun with it. I've had a lot of fun with it, and if it goes away this year, then, you know, in 2019, because, I don't know, either loot box laws come in and take it for all it's worth, or people just drop off after Kingdom Hearts 3 and don't come back. I mean, I'm saying this because I'm collecting the data, and I'm basically watching how many players are coming in, and how many are coming out, and it's unfortunately trending down. And I would have thought with Kingdom Hearts 3 being less than 50 days away now, hype for this game would have been at an all-time high, but they're just not capitalizing on it. And I say this in a place of love. Like, God, I would love to make some changes in this game that I really think would benefit the entire player base. I would rework so many things and try and make it fair for both payers and, you know, free players. Because I'm not naive. I don't expect this game to give away free jewels for everyone all the time. Like, there's got to be a balance between it, but I don't know. I don't even know why I'm ranting right now. I'm not opposed to pulling for this Kairi. I just don't think you should go crazy. Maybe do a couple pulls, do 3, 4, 5 pulls maybe, and see how you go. Otherwise, wait for a Mercy. If you're in a position where you can afford to Mercy it if it comes back as a 10 pull Mercy for everyone later on, that may be the way to go. I think it has to come back as a Mercy for everyone at some point. I think it just has to. There's no way they can keep it behind this paywall forever, but oh, to hell with it. Let's see what happens. Again, I'm not really expecting much. I know the rate of getting a 7-star bonus is only 10% on our version of the banner, I think, but can't win if you don't play, I suppose. But it's terrible advice, by the way. Yeah, I get an offer. I'm sorry. Can we pretend like that didn't happen? Because I'm still planning on doing guides without having Kairi. I'm sorry. Okay. Well. I mean... Once again, I have no right to talk to any of you about anything because I just YOLO pulled a Kairi. And... yeah. Alright. See you tomorrow for Larxene. I'm gonna pretend this doesn't exist. Okay, alright, bye. I hate myself so much.